Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
We begin tonight in Bradford County, where police are still investigating the circumstances behind a 9-year-old fatally stabbing an 11-year-old boy. The incident is being ruled a homicide, but as Big Fox's Matt Kleindens reports, police may not end up pressing charges against the younger child.
Good evening, Jennifer. Ridgeberry Township residents continue to mourn the loss of an 11-year-old boy on Saturday. And while the police are treating this incident as a homicide, Pennsylvania law may protect the 9-year-old who stabbed the 11-year-old. State police continue to investigate the circumstances that led a 9-year-old to stab an 11-year-old boy. According to reports, the kids were fighting over a Nerf gun when the 11-year-old was stabbed. Police have declared the incident to be a homicide. However, Pennsylvania law may protect the 9-year-old. According to Jenkins law, a child must be 10 years or older to be punished for a delinquent act. Meanwhile, the Athens Area School District confirmed that the 11-year-old boy was a student at SRU Elementary in East Smithfield. The school is providing counselors for grieving students and staff. Matt Kleindens, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio is one step closer to a potential run for governor. The State Board of Elections says de Blasio filed 2 of the 3 documents to form a committee. The board said, based on what was filed so far, that it could not confirm what office de Blasio might seek and when he might do it. Today, de Blasio was asked about his experience in the parts of New York outside of New York City.
Montauk to Niagara Falls. I've been all over the state. I love the Finger Lakes. Love a lot of parts of the state. And look, I think this is a state with tremendous potential, but also a lot of unrealized potential.
De Blasio is prevented from running for mayor for a 3rd time because of term limits. His 2nd term ends at the end of this year. Children as young as 5 could soon line up for a COVID-19 vaccine as a CDC advisory panel discusses Pfizer's formula. Meanwhile, the battle over vaccine mandates continues across the country. Jonathan Seri has the latest.
The CDC is poised to expand access to COVID vaccines to millions of children. An independent advisory panel meeting today to discuss the safety of Pfizer's vaccine in children ages 5 through 11. About 15 million doses are already being packed and shipped to vaccination sites across the country.
It is our ongoing responsibility to make sure as many people as possible are vaccinated and protected from COVID-19.
Younger children will receive 1/3 of the dose authorized for Americans 12 and older, and the shots will be delivered by smaller needles. More than 20,000 pediatricians, family doctors, and pharmacies are ready to distribute the shots. Doctors say an endorsement of the vaccine is timely ahead of the winter holidays, when health experts say we could see another spike in infection rates.
Certain surveys have indicated that only 27% of parents are going to let their kids get vaccinated. So that's a very important issue that we have to overcome.
Meanwhile, in New York City, about 1,000 firefighters are on unpaid leave for not complying with the vaccine mandate. The FDNY's commissioner says his department is also seeing a growing number of sick calls, claiming some members are calling out to skirt the vaccination requirement. It's something the union denies.
You would expect medical leave to go up because you have more members doing more work with less companies out there doing more hours.
And today, Pfizer said it's on track to deliver more than 2 billion doses of its vaccine this year. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
Restaurants in New York City are gearing up for winter dining outdoors, but the mayor's new ban might freeze plans to keep diners warm. Madeline Allworth has the story.
Outdoor dining has become a staple in so many cities, including New York. Restaurant setups like this one were crucial to getting customers back during the depths of the pandemic. For the first time last year, New York City allowed propane heaters to allow diners to eat outside. But this year, that's changing again. The mayor no longer allowing those propane heaters. I'm here with Stratus Morfogen, one of the partners at Brooklyn Chop House. The industry has been through so much. A move like this, what does it do to an already hurting industry?
Well, again, from the beginning of the pandemic, every rule, or every mandate has been pushed against us, and the hospitality industry has been unjust. And what happens now is that propane tanks if we're not going to be able to use them anymore, we're going to find a lot of shortcuts because a lot of restaurateurs cannot afford to spend $25,000, $50,000 on electrical panels. And what I'm afraid they're going to do is that they're going to run extension cords from their main building. And when you have an extension cord with weather like New York City, that's going to lead to fires. And especially when there's wood and canvas, it's not a good combination.
So this is a move that's being made because of safety concerns. Last year, there were 1,200 complaints, but there were no fires. So, yeah, explain to me why you do fear that electric or these alternatives could actually be more dangerous than propane.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, again, you're dealing with inclement weather, exposed wires. To me, propane is the safest. And, living out east, everybody uses propane. I think there are more drownings than there are fatalities from propane. And I think what the mayor should do, again, one size doesn't fit all. They should allow us to put an outdoor cabinet where we store the propane heaters.
Restaurants can apply for a $5,000 grant to replace their heaters with alternative options. But the question still stands, how do they power them safely? In New York City, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
The Food Bank of the Southern Tier kicked off its 12th annual turkey drive. Over the next 3 weeks, the Food Bank will be collecting donations to provide Thanksgiving meals to those in need. Tioga Downs Casino has agreed to match all Thanksgiving dinner donations to the Food Bank. The turkey drive runs until November 25th. Schuyler County will be hosting a public hearing on the proposed 2022 budget next week. County Manager Tim O'Hearn announced the upcoming budget will feature tax decreases without cuts to services or staffing. If passed, this will be the 10th consecutive cut to county taxes. The county legislature will hold the public hearing at the Human Services Complex in Montour Falls on November 8th. As President Biden is wrapping up his foreign trip, in Congress they're still trying to wrap up 2 spending bills, but it's proving to be a bumpy road. Lauren Blanchard has more from Washington.
President Biden is wrapping up his overseas trip, pledging to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and increase forest preservation.
The United States is going to lead by our example at home. I'm confident we can do this.
But back home, less confident. Support for 2 massive spending bills struggling to gain ground. However, Tuesday, progressives seem to be ready to move forward.
We are ready to say, we trust you, Mr. President. You said you could get 51 votes, and we've got enough of the other information that we are ready to go forward with that.
It comes after Senator Joe Manchin Monday threw cold water on the Build Back Better deal.
This is a recipe for economic crisis.
Saying he's unsure if the newest $1.75 trillion framework can get his vote as progressives push to add back policies.
Items here that appear to be perhaps out of breath, but they're not dead. And I hope that paid family leave would be one of those considerations.
Manchin also wants the Congressional Budget Office to look at the bill. He thinks it'll come in almost twice the price. Republicans say it costs too much.
The American public should have a right to know what it costs and what it would do.
Even so, the Transportation Secretary says an agreement is closer than ever.
2 pieces of legislation this big and this complex. It's going to take a lot to get it through all of the different hoops that Congress can have.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi wants a vote on the infrastructure and president's bills this week, but without a formal price tag, it's unclear if moderates will get on board. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Opening statements are underway this week in the trial of Kyle Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse made national headlines last year after he shot and killed 2 people and wounded another during police brutality protests in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Prosecutors argued that Rittenhouse acted in a reckless and unreasonable manner when he fatally shot those protesters. But lawyers representing Rittenhouse say their client was defending himself.
We need to keep in mind the fact that there were hundreds of people on the street that night, experiencing the same chaos, the same loud noises, the same gunfire, the same arson, the same tear gas, the same hostile confrontations with people who believe the opposite of them.
This is my opportunity to tell you and show you what I believe the evidence will show. You've heard the state's opening statement, and now I will give mine. We have 2 very different outlooks on the events of August 25th of 2020.
The now 18-year-old pleaded not guilty to all charges. If convicted, Rittenhouse could spend the rest of his life behind bars. Still ahead tonight, more cancellations today as American Airlines deals with major staffing shortages.
There are people ready to travel and willing to travel. And once you get there, it's wonderful. There just is not enough flights or staff taking care of everything.
What the problem could mean for travelers looking to fly over the holidays.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. It was definitely a blustery day today, making our temperatures feel so much colder, and we are running just a little bit cooler than yesterday, about 5 degrees cooler in Corning and also in Elmira. It's about 7 degrees cooler in Horning and in Wayland this afternoon than it was yesterday. But as we head into tomorrow, we are expecting temperatures to start off quite frigid. In fact, we'll be near the freezing mark as we start off your Wednesday with a lot of cloud cover as well. So those temperatures will be mainly in the 30s tonight. So if you have to head outside tonight, you definitely need your coat. We do have the possibility of rain and snow mix tomorrow, and then for the rest of the week, we are going to start off pretty frigid with temperatures below freezing on most days, but the good news is it is going to get a little bit warmer by the weekend. So for tomorrow, there is some leftover moisture, and because the air is so cold, there will be some snow mixing in with some of the showers that will be moving through, and so you might want to be prepared for that if you are heading out and about. And the big chill will stick around through much of the latter part of the week. So we are going to be under this trough, which really allows all that air to sink southward. But if you'll take a look to the west, milder conditions will be coming in for the weekend, and so it's not going to be quite as cold over the weekend as what we're experiencing right now. So if you are planning to do some yard work for the next couple of days, try to clean things up before more winter weather comes our way. It's going to be quite cold outside. You're going to need a coat if you're going to be raking those leaves. Temperatures around 37 degrees at 9 o'clock. By lunchtime, around 44. I think we will be in the upper 40s, possibly even into the lower 50s in some locations. And then we drop down to around 41 degrees with the possibility of a rain-snow mix, just a shower here and there. As we take a look at our future radar, you will notice a lot of places you'll see blue and green, and that's the mixture of rain and snow that will be moving across our area. Early tomorrow morning, as those temperatures will be near freezing, I think most of the precipitation will be in the form of snow, but then moving toward the afternoon, we are going to see those temperatures warm up. And so as those temperatures go above freezing, some of the snow will be mixing in with some rain, and then that cold air will come back by the end of the day, and so that precipitation will be switching back to snow. So keep that in mind for the next couple of days because it's going to be quite cold. 32 degrees, the overnight low, partly cloudy skies with some frost early tomorrow morning. Highs tomorrow around 47 degrees with the possibility of a rain-snow mix. As we head toward the end of the week, we are expecting a warming trend, but if you have any plants outside, you definitely want to take them in for the upcoming days.
The problems persist for American Airlines, with some passengers stranded now for a 5th straight day after massive flight cancellations. William LaJeunesse has more from Los Angeles.
The people in there, it's like a three-ring circus.
American Airlines canceled flights for the 5th straight day following a travel nightmare over the weekend. Since Friday, the airline scrapped more than 2,000 flights, about 10% of their total, due to weather and staffing issues. American says it's addressing those issues with some 1,800 furloughed flight attendants coming back to work this week. But travel experts say in the short term, passengers will have to pack their patience.
There are people ready to travel and willing to travel. And once you get there, it's wonderful. There just is not enough flights or staff taking care of everything.
The main problem is logistics, getting pilots and flight attendants where they need to be. The pilots union says it's a preventable issue, while the Association of Professional Flight Attendants wrote in part, quote, "Staffing at American remains strained and reflects what is happening across the industry." And what that means? travelers can expect fewer flights as airlines maximize profits, with some experts recommending travel insurance if you're flying over the holidays.
Plan ahead, be prepared, and don't travel unprotected. For roughly about $30 to $40, you can really travel with peace of mind, with confidence that should something happen.
Apple may be adding a life-saving feature to the iPhone. According to company documents, Apple is looking to roll out a feature that will automatically dial 911 if you're in a car accident. Apple has been testing the crash detecting ability of its phones in the past year and has detected more than 10 million suspected impacts, leading to 50,000 911 calls. No details are available yet on when or if Apple will move forward with this feature. A woman gets a hefty hospital bill when she was not even treated by doctors. Janice Yu has the story from Atlanta.
It's kind of hard to believe that something like this exists, but this charge is something that's called an emergency room visit fee. It's often added to your total hospital bill, and the amount can vary between hospitals.
What do you mean I have a bill for that day? I didn't do anything. I was really just shocked.
Taylor Davis says she went to the emergency room at Emory Decatur Hospital for a head injury. She sat in the waiting room for hours, but with no end in sight, she decided to leave.
And I realized, I shouldn't be sitting in the emergency room for 7 hours.
But a couple of weeks later, this surprise came in her mailbox, a bill from the hospital for nearly $700.
I didn't get my vitals taken. Nobody called my name. I wasn't seen at all. I just came, sat in a chair for 7 hours and left.
Davis says she was convinced it was a mistake.
So I called them and they're like, it's hospital protocol. Even if you're just walking in and you're not seen, when you type in your social, that's it.
She says she was told it was an emergency room visit fee, or a facility fee as it's called in some cases, and it's often added to a person's total hospital bill, so it might not be as noticeable as it is in this case. An email sent to Davis by an Emory Patient Financial Services employee says, quote, "You get charged before you are seen, not for being seen." Emory Healthcare sent a statement that reads in part, "Our teams are currently looking into this matter and will follow up directly with the individual." But now that she knows what she can potentially be charged for, Davis says unfortunately she'll think twice before stepping foot in an emergency room.
Very reluctant to go into a hospital now. That's kind of like the last resort now. Seeing that they're able to bill you for random things, honestly, it doesn't make me want to go when I get injured, and that's not good.
Dinosaurs know a thing or two about going extinct, but now one former fossil is coming back from the grave to warn us about how we could experience a similar fate. Jackie Ibanez reports.
Going extinct is a bad thing.
Climate activists can take on many shapes and forms, including dinosaurs. Meet Frankie, a prehistoric creature hoping to send a wake-up call to mankind, telling us we could be the next ones to go extinct if the climate crisis continues.
At least we had an asteroid. What's your excuse?
It's all part of the United Nations Don't Choose Extinction campaign, highlighting the world's mass consumption of fossil fuels, which experts say contribute to global warming.
There is a crisis. We do have to act, but we have those solutions. We know what to do, and we can do it. It's doable.
One of the solutions lies in harnessing clean energy, which isn't as easy as you may think, especially when data from the UN found governments around the world spend more than $400 billion every year funding fossil fuel development.
Imagine if we had spent hundreds of billions per year subsidizing giant meteors. That's what you're doing right now.
But Frankie isn't the only dinosaur educating people about the dangers of fossil fuels. In Bosnia, a group of artists have modeled this T-Rex sculpture after Frankie using more than 1,700 pounds of charcoal. It's on display in the capital of Sarajevo, one of the most polluted cities in the world. The artists say they hope it will inspire people to think about their role in protecting the planet.
Amazon is easing its mask-wearing rules for U.S. employees. Starting today, fully vaccinated warehouse employees will no longer need to wear a mask at work unless required by state or local law. Those who want to go maskless will have to show proof of vaccination. Amazon has not mandated that workers be vaccinated, despite an executive order from the Biden administration. How about a side of Bitcoin with that? Burger King is teaming up with Robinhood to offer its loyalty members the chance to win a side of cryptocurrency, which includes Dogecoin, Ethereum, or Bitcoin. Now through November 21st, members who spend $5 or more on the Burger King app, website, or in-restaurant using my code at participating locations will be rewarded with crypto. In California, prospectors are hoping recent heavy rains unearth gold. Dennis Shanahan caught up with one prospector who was battling the conditions in search of riches.
After a soaking rain, the Mineral Bar Campground is a treasure, brimming with natural beauty on the North Fork American River. But the rewards are more than just visual, especially after the rain this area received last week.
You always hope you find a nugget,
Keeps you coming back.
Yeah.
We ran into Ron Nelson on the riverbank, a prospector by hobby. He concurs with what we heard from some local mining shops. The recent heavy rain has hobbyists excited about their prospects. Hard rain loosens pieces of gold from the riverbanks and canyon walls, sending them downriver, essentially restocking popular prospecting spots with gold.
It will fall into these holes if the river was up this high.
Ron pointed us to these natural pockets in the bedrock where gold can become trapped when swollen river water rushes over them. And he was a good sport, willing to give this news guy a lesson. Before we pan, we dig.
But among the sand, there are likely to be some gold flakes.
We're going to find out.
And like fishing, panning requires patience.
And what I do is take the pan and turn it this way like this. And it shakes it down. Stir it up some more. Kind of pull the pan back from the water and then shake it back down. Anything that floats out of your pan's not gold.
The Auburn Recreation Area, which Mineral Bar sits within, does not allow machine mining.
But isn't this more fun?
It'd be more fun finding a big nugget.
Ron has made some money panning for gold.
You could come up here and go camping for 3 weeks and pay for your food.
On this day, we didn't strike it rich, but we didn't strike out either.
There's a little tiny flake right there.
That's gold.
That's gold right there.
It was just a tiny fleck of gold dust, but like a small payout on a casino slot machine, it does make you want to come back.
There's gold in this river.
There's gold in these hills.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. Kraft mac and cheese fans are drooling over a chance to test out new flavors. Kraft has already introduced pumpkin spice flavored mac and cheese, as well as candy flavored pink mac and cheese for Valentine's Day. But now the company is introducing an exclusive flavors club where members can be the first to try Kraft's new seasoning blends before they're released to stores. Members will also get access to clothing based on each flavor, like a plush hoodie for ranch, a jacket for pizza, and a sports jersey for buffalo. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.